Hey guys, what's up? This is your boy Neck Park back with another video, and I wanted to talk about the recent Minecraft update that happened and came out a couple months ago. I wanted to do this video for quite a long time, but you know what? I'm gonna do it now. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so forgot what it's called, but um, Minecraft is finally adding a mid-range melee weapon, which is dope. Um, so spear is a new weapon that can be crafted into wood, stone, copper, iron, gold, diamond, and netherite versions. Each material has different stats for timing, including how fast they are to use, which is actually pretty sick. Copper finally getting real combat use is actually surreal to me. Like, which pretty much means that mid-game players will get a solid weapon before iron, because normally you just had iron and stone before this. Now you actually have decent weapons. And so not every when it comes to the timing stats per material, not every spear is a reskin. Wood and copper is like the faster but the weaker stuff. And the nether iron and netherite is like slower but heavier hits. So it's kind of like comparing a machine gun to a sniper a little bit, kind of in a sense, which actually adds skill instead of everybody trying to rush for the same thing. You can't face hug enemies, that's why it's at minimum reach. I think this actually forces a good space. You have to stay back or you deal 0 damage. That's actually a big shakeup from like sword spam, which I think is a breath of fresh air. Um, Longer max reach, which actually makes it good for like zombies or pigments or spiders with the longer max reach, which it keeps them at arm's length. And the enemies can spawn with spears, which piglins are going to be even more annoying. So this is going to get sweaty as hell. Um, was it? The jab and the charge feels like a Trident's land combat cousin, and fire aspect in one shot you have cooked food. This is like so Minecraft logic. I hit this cow at Mach 5, so now it's steak. Next up we have the Nautilus, which is a new neutral aquatic mob, which they added a rideable sea beast. This might actually be one of the coolest mobs, like aquatic mobs, they have in years, because there's a lot going on here. This is actually huge for like exploring the ocean. So it's kind of like a dolphin, but is more hostile, but is like way more hostile. The dash attack though, to me is actually probably the best thing about this, which means like knockback potential, quick bursts of movement, and real danger underwater. Like they just got way less cozy. You can tame them with a pufferfish, which is hilarious, but it also makes perfect sense. There's actually a use for these annoying little spike balls besides poisoning yourself. And you can saddle this thing, which means it has the same dash ability, which you can pretty much zoom underwater like Aquaman does. And this is the Breath of the Nautilus is like the biggest addition in my opinion. So I haven't checked it out, but I think it does water breathe. It might have a good sense of water breathing and less mining fatigue because I haven't played Minecraft in a couple months in a while. But the roaming restrictions is without a saddle 32 blocks, with a saddle is 16. So which is interesting. So it kind of stays to you like a loyal pet, which is actually pretty good. So the unsaddled ones will wander, but they won't wander too far. A 4-second cooldown on a dash makes it strong, but it can't be spammable, which is I guess fair. It makes sense since it can be used for travel and combat to me, and spawn between Y level 38 and 58. So mostly in mid-depth oceans, not near the surface, but not like deep dark in the underwater temples either. Which, of course, it makes sense because you know you can't take it on land like a turtle, which makes sense. Okay, so they actually turned the spear. They added the spear stuff with this is honestly one of the craziest enchantment ideas they've ever turned into. And so this is a pure identity enchant with the spear only enchantment, which is the lunge enchantment. They're really making spears their own combat class, I think.
Like, that's how I feel, because they're making a pure identity enchantment. This works only on the jab attack, not the charge, which makes sense. Because charge is like heavier damage, and the jab is more mobility and the way you space yourself. The horizontal launch is literally the Trident Riptide and the Bed Wars Fireball jump, and it also feels like Fortnite Impulse movement and CS:GO movement tech, all in one enchantment. So if you can pretty much dash into enemies, escape fights, gap close archers, cross rivers, dodge projectiles, and do insane PvP jukes. Like, this is actually going to make the PvP feel really clean. If you tilt too high, you lose distance. You tilt too low, you drag on the ground. That adds a lot of skill to it. People are going to try to master like the perfect lunges and fly like anime characters. Um, so spam lunging, it consumes hunger, which is actually a perfect mechanic. Level 1 is -1 hunger, level 2, level 3, and so on. So spam lunging would force you to starve to death. This is going to force you to use it tactically, not like a bow spam movement hack. The durability on every level is really smart, I think, too. Because then there won't be infinite glide with Unbreaking 3, and it makes the high tier spears like the Diamond and Netherite more valuable. This might be one of the top 5 in movement buffs in Minecraft history. And that's a little bit. That's part 1 of this. I'll do part 2 next time. So I'll see you guys later.